Durham will need just one more wicket on the final day to confirm a comfortable win over Sussex. It will give the champions their second successive LV County Championship success, while Sussex's form is heading in the opposite direction. Durham started day 3 on 105 for 1 in their second innings, which gave them a lead of 237 runs, and Keaton Jennings was soon at his half-century, having begun the day on 46. He got there off 117 deliveries, that being his 6th 4 in an innings which was bringing him back to form. He and Scott Borthwick then settled in, knowing that a big partnership and a morning session without too many headaches would have them well clear of their opponents. The plan, of course, was to bat Sussex completely out of this game, with so much time still left in it. There was some playing and missing as the visiting attack got their lines right for the most part, but when they didn't, these two left-handers played some fine shots as they started to make this another tough day for Sussex. They've had a few of them after such a bright start to the season. Borthwick is having another good summer with the bat, and although he failed in the first innings of this match, he completed a fine 50 in the second, an innings using up 121 deliveries and one which had contained only the 3 boundaries. He and Jennings had a 100 partnership on the board and were hungry for more. Borthwick became especially good at pulling anything that was just a fraction too short, while Jennings, now filled with confidence, took on James Treadwell with some one-day shots, the kind of which, once upon a time, you would have received a rap on the knuckles if you brought it out in a first-class contest. Yes, the game has certainly changed. The runs kept coming and coming as this pair got through to lunch, which was brought forward by a few minutes because of some rain. Both batsmen were in the 80s as they sat down for their food, a good morning's work out of the way. Their partnership moved on to 200 and the total on to 235 when, just 5 runs short of his 100, Borthwick edged Steve McGoffin to the only slip Treadwell. The lead now stood at 367. Jennings did what Borthwick couldn't by going on to make 100, the 22-year-old's first of the season and the 4th of his career. He'd needed 215 balls to complete this one, from which he'd struck 13 fours. He'd put his side into a very good place indeed, with the lead now a substantial one. He didn't last much longer though. An attempted cut off Lewis Hatchett was edged to Treadwell, who took a good catch above his head. With the lead now approaching 400, Michael Richardson could relax into his knock and play a few shots. He looked good on the drive as he took that advantage into the 400s, meaning that there was no way that his side were going to lose this match. Ben Stokes, fresh from his career best performance with the ball on the previous day, was full of confidence, and the match situation was ideal for him to come in and express himself, and that's exactly what the all-rounder did, with some fine shots just to make life even tougher for the Sussex attack. Of course, his efforts with both bat and ball might ultimately help Sussex out, as, if the national press are to be believed, Stokes is fighting for the same place in the England team as Chris Jordan. Stokes made 31 here from 25 balls and was out when he missed a pull off Treadwell, to be bowled with a total reading 295 for 4 and the lead at 427. That still wasn't enough for Paul Collingwood, who came in, edged Treadwell to Rory Hamilton-Brown and then left again with 5 runs to his name. With more than 300 runs on the board, it was time for the Durham batsmen to play some shots, and that's just what Richardson and Gordon Motchell did. The latter raced on to 37, the same as his partner, as 58 more runs were added in 13 overs. The declaration was clearly imminent, but so was a bank of rain heading back over the ground. When Richardson top-edged a ball from Stefan Pilot to Ben Brown, the light took the players off. Collingwood then declared on 359 for 6, leaving Sussex an improbable target of 492 runs for them to win. Once the poor weather had cleared after tea, Luke Wells and Chris Nash came out with the plan to try to bat the final session through, losing as few wickets as possible. They found nothing to concern themselves too much in the first 10 overs, in which 30 of their target was knocked off. But Stokes, who took 7 for 67 in the first innings, then grabbed his 8th wicket of the match as Wells fell in an identical fashion to the previous day, with Phil Mustard dropping the chance of being saved by Borthwick. In fact, the top of the order was all too familiar as far as Sussex were concerned. Nash could do little but nick this terrific ball from Stokes behind. And it was 10 in a match for the first time in his career when Stokes then trapped Hamilton Brown in front to leave Sussex on 44 for 3. Stokes now had figures of 3 for 10 but was to have no more successes throughout the rest of the day. Luke Wright played him better than anyone, while Ed Joyce looked to see if he could return to form after a run of low scores after an amazing start to this summer. He pulled John Hastings for a 6 as he began to look back to his best. But after adding 49 runs with Wright, the Sussex skipper edged a half drive off Paul Coughlin to Richardson in the gully to go for 23. It was the start of a collapse for the visitors. Brown edged Hastings to Borthwick after making 14. Pilot was struck on the back leg in Hastings' next over for a very easy LBW decision, before it became 3 in 3 overs for the bowler, as Wright was at last dismissed for the first time in the match, with a top-edge hook which was held on to by Mutchell. Wright added 30 to his first innings' 66 not out. Hastings then made it 4 in 4 overs to give his side a real chance of completing this match on this day. Mustard held on this time to get shot of Steve McGoffin with a score on 127 for 8. From 93 for 3, Sussex slipped to 134 for 9 when John Lewis nicked off to Chris Rushworth. Durham claimed the extra half hour, taking the end of this day to 7:30, but Treadwell held firm to rather annoy the home side, who will now have to return to the ground just to take the 1 wicket they couldn't manage in the last 7 overs of this day. Not even Stokes. He has match figures of 10 for 121, while Hastings has 4 for 47 in this innings. With Treadwell top scoring with an unbeaten 41, Sussex finished the day on 173 for 9, the last pair adding 39 runs. Durham will hope to wrap things up very quickly on the last morning for a win which will see them jump up to 4th in the table. Sussex are likely to slip to within just a couple of points of the relegation places.